love me like you love JT back in '03. Up on MTV on a stage wearing shoes made of diamonds, singing songs about you like a siren. No, I won't be what you seem to need, cause I don't see what you seem to see. Ain't got troops in a crowd all united, ain't got you screaming loud and excited. I can't ever be the...
Hey everyone, it's Build Week, and I just wanted to show you a little bit about what I've been doing the last couple weeks. I just wanted to tear everything down so I can show you how I built it all together and show you some safety precautions that you should really consider if you're thinking about doing something like this yourself. There are a lot of things that can go wrong with live wires, and if you're not in a position where you're experienced with this, I would really consider hiring a professional to make sure that all of your wiring is sized appropriately and all of your fuses are going to match with those appropriately sized wires. But with that being said, let's break into the build and I'll see you on the next side. So the first piece of technology that I want to talk about that most of y'all are potentially not familiar with is this battery shunt here. This is what connects my RV to my negative terminal on my battery, and it helps provide battery monitoring and lets me know precisely how much battery I have left. This one is a wireless shunt by Victron, and I highly recommend it so you can check your battery level from inside if you're doing an RV situation.
Another thing that I want to mention while I pull out this battery is if you're switching over from a lead-acid system, you may need to upgrade your converter and your solar charge controller because they may not have a profile for lithium, as it does need a higher charging voltage.
So one thing I do want to let y'all know about real quickly is these MRBFs. They are marine rated battery fuses, and they're going to be your first line of defense when it comes to a power system like this. I have one on each of my battery terminals, and they're basically going to stop anything lower than 10,000 amps coming through my system and shorting everything out. And then the T-fuse is another layer of security on top of that. So for our next cup of tea, we're going to be adding a Class T fuse onto this thing. And for those of you who don't know, there are different fuses who are rated for different ampacities. And because these batteries can discharge so much current so quickly, they can actually get to upwards of 2,000 to 5,000 amps in a quick second. And so you need a very robust fuse system to handle that in case anything goes wrong. Normally, it'll never get this high, so if anything happens like this, then it's definitely going to be something that is going to go over your RV's circuit rating. But at the same time, most fuses may not protect you from a power surge that is that intense. So you really want to do your research and make sure you're having multiple backups, and that if anything happens, you can handle the worst thing that comes your way.
When you're looking to size your fuses and wires, one of the most important things is to make sure that your fuses are rated for the highest amperage that your system will use. To figure this out, you should divide the wattage of your inverter by the voltage of your battery system, compensating for efficiency loss with the inverter, and then add 20% as a safety margin. For example, a 3,000 watt inverter on a 12 volt system with an efficiency rating of 90% would use 3,333 watts. If you divide this by 12 volts, you get 275 amps, and then adding a safety margin of 20% would leave you with a 330 max amp current. This would require a 350 amp fuse and equally substantial wire.
In case anyone was wondering, those metal shards were really fucking hot.
To be honest, that's why most people with big solar systems are moving over to 48 volt systems. But if you see here, I am fucking up, and really badly, so the next 8 frames are just going to be me trying to fix that. I think one of the big advantages of knowing how to do all this stuff is, at least when I fuck up, I'm learning how to fix it now. Also, I may have bamboozled you because although I'm using this mount for my battery rack, I'm also using it for my propane, and if you're interested in that video, I will be making a video on how I set up my propane system in a little bit as well. Speaking of, what I'm doing right now is actually lifting up the entire rack and drilling it into place so that I have enough clearance for my 40-pound propane tanks to come out and be able to refill them. And I needed a little bit of help, so my neighbors came by. So here's a shot of everything wrapped up. The shunt is in a waterproof box and zip tied to the side of the A-frame, while both of the batteries are hooked up in parallel with their fuses safe inside a standard waterproof RV battery box.
All right, everyone, and that is basically a little look into what I've been doing the last couple weeks and how you can set up your electrical system for lithium ion and increased propane capacity safely. So thank you for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And until next time, much love always.